What if you created a really great Web2Print site like this Cypress site I have here? And on that site, you have a number of products that people can offer. But now I have a customer, a B2B customer, for example, that I want to offer a special product to. It should not be available to everyone, but simply to this customer. How do I do that? Well, for starters, I can show you how this is going to look. Right now, I'm not logged in. I have a number of products here, and if I go to banners, you'll see that there are 2 banners that I can order. Let me go to login, type the username and the password for a B2B user, click on login, and then when I go back to products, all of a sudden I only have 1 banner, and it's not even a banner that was there for all users. So the availability of products on a Pressero site can be controlled by the user who is logged in at a certain time. Let me show you how to do that. We'll switch to the Pressero admin, and under the Pressero admin part, I have 2 areas where I can find user information. First of all, under preferences, I have admin users and admin groups, and these have to do with the privileges of users in the Pressero admin environment itself. What I'm interested in is under sites. I have my Cypress site here, and if I open that, there will be a menu called user management. And if I twirl that down, I get site users and site groups. And this is where I can create users specifically for this Cypress website. You could think it would be logical to start by creating a user and then put it inside of a group. But because users always need a group to be put in, it is actually more logical to go to groups first. And then under groups, I see the groups that are there already, and I can easily create a new one. So let's say printing with rabbits this time. I can give that a description. I can make this group available to people who will create an account on the site themselves. And then we have the section about site permissions, which is really interesting, but it deserves a whole explanation of itself. And to control the availability of products, this is not what we need. So I am just going to fill out this essential group name information, and then I'm going to say save, and my group ends up in my list of Pressero site groups. Now I can go to site users, and under site users, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a new user, and now I need to enter some more information. So rabbit, and then I need an email address at I don't know whether that exists, but let's use that. I need a username and a very complicated password. What is really important and very easy to forget is that when you create a user, you should also put it inside the groups that you want. Of course, you can still modify this afterwards, but if you ever find that a user isn't behaving the way you expect it to behave, make sure that that user is added to the correct site groups. And in my case, I can do the same thing as I did with this penguin and add it to printing with rabbits. Remark that a user can belong to multiple groups, and there are certainly cases where this opens up very interesting possibilities. I'm not going to do that. I'm simply going to add it to my Printing with Rabbits group. I'm going to create it. And now I have a second user in my Cypress site. And that user, if I go back to Edit and to Site Group Membership, I can see that belongs to the Printing with Rabbits group. And this is all I have to do. I have now created a new user and a new group. So now I can determine in the site what is special for this user. And the first thing we can do is go to products. Products live under the catalog menu. And when I go to a particular product and edit it, I have a site groups tab. And under site groups, I can select which groups are allowed to work with this particular product. And by switching on printing with rabbits here, I put this product in the group for printing with rabbits. And I will now have the exact same effect as the demo I just showed you. There are two additional things you can do with groups that are really, really interesting. And they're very simple. If I go to settings for my site, at the top you have this shipping and payments section. So I can go to shipping first. I have all the shipment methods that this site uses. And for each shipping method, again, I can specify which groups are allowed to use that. The same for payment methods. If I have credit card payment, for example, I could decide that that credit card payment is only allowed for users that are in a specific group. So a very interesting feature allowing you to add certain users on a particular site, put them in particular groups, and then based on those groups, affect what payment methods can be done, what shipping can be done, or which products a user gets to see in the user interface of your site.